All right, today we are tackling one of Python's most elegant and honestly most useful data structures, the set. If you've ever found yourself with a list full of duplicates, or you just needed to find the unique item super fast, you're gonna love this. It's a really simple concept with some seriously powerful uses. Okay, let's get into it.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute basics. What even is a set? Then we'll get our hands dirty with how to manipulate and combine them. After that, we'll put them head-to-head with lists, which you probably already know. We'll also cover a really important gotcha that trips a lot of people up, and then we'll finish with one of the absolute best use cases for sets.
Okay, so let's start with a problem that, trust me, every single programmer runs into. Messy data, filled with duplicates. So imagine you've got a list of numbers, just like this one. It's kind of cluttered, right? We've got a couple of 2s, we've got 3 4s. All we really want is a nice, clean collection of just the unique numbers.
Now you could write a loop, make a new empty list, and then check every single number to see if you've added it already, but, that feels like a lot of work. There's got to be a better, more Pythonic way to do this, right?
And you bet there is. Meet the Python set. If you remember one thing about sets, make it this. Its superpower is that every single item inside of it has to be unique. No duplicates allowed, ever. It's kind of like a VIP guest list at a club. You can't be on the list twice.
And this right here, this is the magic trick. To solve our whole duplicate problem, all we have to do is take our messy list and pass it into the set function. That's it. One line of code, and Python does all the heavy lifting for us.
And bam! Just like that, you get a clean collection of unique numbers. Now notice the syntax here. See those curly braces? That's your big visual clue that you're looking at a set, not a list, which, you'll remember, uses square brackets.
Okay, so we've successfully created a set. Awesome. Now what? What are the basic things we can actually do with it? Let's take a look at how to play around with them.
There are really 3 fundamental things you're going to do all the time. First, to pop a new item in there, you use the add function. Easy enough. To take an item out, you just use remove. And to find out how many items are in the set, you use the good old len function, which works exactly like it does for lists. Super straightforward.
But this is where sets go from being just useful to being amazing. They're not just for storing stuff. They're incredible tools for doing math-like operations on whole collections of data at once.
So to see this in action, let's whip up 2 simple sets. We'll just call them first and second. Keep these 2 in your head for the next couple of slides.
First up is the union. You do this with that vertical bar symbol. A union basically merges 2 sets together, creating a brand new set that has all the unique items from either of the original sets. So if we combine our 2 sets, we get everything from both with no repeats. It's the everything set.
Next up is intersection, and for this, we use the ampersand. This operation is all about finding what the 2 sets have in common, the overlap. It gives you back a new set with only the items that exist in both first and second. In our case, that's just the number 1.
And finally, there's difference, which just uses a minus sign. This finds what's unique to the first set. It gives you the items that are in first, but are not in second. Now, the really important thing here is that order matters a lot. First minus second is totally different from second minus first.
Okay, so a really common question at this point is, so when should I use a sets and when should I just stick with a list? Let's break down the key differences to make that choice super clear. It really boils down to these 3 things. Lists, they're totally cool with duplicates. Sets, absolutely not. Lists keep everything in the exact order you put it in. Sets, they're completely unordered. There's no first or last. And because of that, you get the biggest difference. You access list items by their position, their index, but with sets, you work with the values themselves.
And that last point, that sets are unordered, leads us to the single biggest mistake that beginners make. So let's just tackle this thing head on.
See, since there's no guaranteed order, the idea of a first item or a third item just doesn't make any sense. So if you try to use those square brackets to grab an item at a specific position, like you do with a list all the time, well, Python is not going to be happy with you. You're going to get this exact error, a type error. Now, subscriptable is just a fancy programmer word for able to be accessed with square brackets. This error is just Python's way of gently reminding you, hey, remember, this is a set. It's an unordered bag of stuff, not an ordered line.
So, if we can't get items by their position, what's a set's other superpower? Well, it's checking for membership. Sets are hyper-optimized for answering one question and one question only. Is this thing in the collection? Let's say we need to know, right now, if the number 3 is in our first set. Now, if this were a huge list with millions of items, Python might have to look through every single one. But with a set,
The code for it is just so clean and easy to read. You just use the in keyword. But more importantly, it is ridiculously fast. Under the hood, sets use something called a hash table, which lets Python check if something exists almost instantly, even if the set has millions of items in it. It is blazingly efficient.
So, let's wrap this up. If you remember nothing else, remember these 4 things. Sets are all about unique items. They are unordered, which means no index access. Their real strength comes from those powerful mathematical operations like union and intersection, and they are incredibly fast when you just need to check if an item exists.
And that's our deep dive into Python sets. They are such a fantastic tool to have in your programming arsenal. So I'll turn the question over to you. Think about your own code, your own projects. Where do you have messy, duplicated data, or where are you constantly checking if something is in a list? That is the perfect place to try out a set.